What is making people broke? Is it lack of money? Is it lack of time? Is it lack of resources? We're going to talk about that in this episode right now. Britnie, the podcast is called From Broke to Woke.
Yes.
Why did we not choose the word poor? From poor to some more that rhymes with poor.
Because broke is not a financial statement. It is a mindset.
Absolutely.
100%.
Yeah.
So is woke.
Yep. But it's different than poor. Broke and poor, two different things.
Yes.
Why?
Broke is a temporary state, or can be a temporary state, especially if you're talking about money. Mm-hmm. And poor many times can become long-lasting or even eternal. It's very different. I've been broke many times financially.
Yeah.
But I chose not to remain poor. How would you define broke?
The inability to obtain what you want at that moment in time. Sometimes the obtaining doesn't have to be financially, right? Sometimes it's like, oh, I'm broke as in my heart is broke. I don't want to be in this relationship. Or my time is broke. I need to heal who I am, right? Not being able to obtain it. Could be worthiness, could be your standards, but having that inability at that moment, because it's going to change. You're going to have the ability as time progresses. And I love how you and I, when we look at stocks, we're like, I'm broke today, right? Meaning like stock went down, right? And Warren Buffett does the exact same thing. When he goes to McDonald's, he'll order, I think it's like a cheese McMuffin if the market's doing good. And if it's not, he just gets like cheese or no, egg and cheese McMuffin. And if the market's bad, he just gets the cheese, no egg. It saves 29 cents.
No, he does not.
Yeah, he does.
What?
Yep, because he has McDonald's for breakfast every day.
That sounds good for you.
Random thing, but Warren Buffett, as we know, is not broke.
No.
But he just has this way of just gamifying it, if you will.
That's so funny.
And,
Well, when we were naming this,
Yep.
Broke to Woke, the reason we picked the word broke is really still in that same vein of understanding how to have whole life success. So we weren't talking about financially only. And we're including that. But we're saying, how can you vote off of the island of your own life, the limiting habits, beliefs, people, understanding of money, the lack of education, the lack of focus, all this weird energy that you give to things. How can you go from that to being woke? And we define woke as somebody who is aware and awake of the power and the gift that they have. They understand that it's their responsibility to share it. It's their understanding that they realize how to connect that to the rest of the world and the purpose of life and the meaning of all of these things and how to truly succeed in all of that. That's what we mean. And if we have anything that we've learned in our journeys that can possibly help you get there faster, that's the point of this podcast.
I have to keep checking behind me to make sure there's not a teleprompter sometimes. You know? The greatness that you elude is phenomenal.
Thank you.
You're welcome. You're so welcome. It's always an honor to be in your presence, and just to be around you, because you, I truly feel, amplify and show that wokeness where you want to connect it, right? You connect the bridge. You build people's abilities to go from where they want to be to where they are, or vice versa. You know, and just really uplifting people and showing them their spirit, showing them their gift. That's huge. That's massive.
Thank you.
I think you did a great job with that.
I just know what it's like to have nothing. I know what it's like to not be able to help. I know what crippling debt feels like. I know what stress is like. I know what being alone is like. I know what being uneducated is like. I know what being abandoned and betrayed and all the things.
Yeah.
And I also know what it's like to be, the youngest on stage winning blah, 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 and being 0.00001% of the world. And I wish I knew the stuff that we're sharing. If this podcast existed, I would have experienced so much less pain. So I didn't know your business could be a force for good. I didn't know your life could be a force for good in the way that Jerremy is explaining it. And you have so many amazing truths. And I feel like you just understood the power of wealth and how it applies so much faster than I did. And so, again, that's the point. We want you guys to have it all. And we're excited to be part of your journey, if anything.
Yes, absolutely. And the word broke, it does, it does represent the fact that something might need to be fixed.
Yeah.
And again, it doesn't have to be your finances. You were actually telling me a story recently about a gentleman that you interacted with, and he was at one of your conferences and was just on the phone nonstop, right? Giving him opportunity like, hey, this is a very impactful seminar that we're at together, and he just wasn't present. That person you were just noticing. It's like, man, spending that type of time, that in a way, if you are carving out days of your life to be somewhere else in a different part of the world with different people, surrounding yourself there, figure out a way to take the moment, take the time, take the ability to be present. It's challenging, sure, because we stay in the norm, the normacy of if we work and this is how we make money, right? If I don't make money, I don't work. Or if I don't work, I don't make money. Both of those apply.
Right.
That is a broken mindset.
Right.
Because we have to be thinking through, we have to ask the question, how can I perpetually make money without having to work?
Right.
So that I can put myself in a position where I can be totally relaxed and vulnerable and transparent and open and loving.
And present. It's not even that you have your money make money so you don't have to work. It's have your money make money so that you don't have to work for money.
Mm-hmm.
Because we're always going to work. Mm-hmm. Because we're full of passion projects and wanting to build education that helps people, be able to have financial freedom. Because if you're financially free, what else can you think about? I had some people attack me a lot in the beginning of my career. They're like, money is your God. How long does it take you to make $60,000? Mm-hmm. I can make it in 45 minutes if I try. Mm-hmm. Money's your God. You're serving money. I am generating wealth to fund blah, blah, blah. Mm-hmm. So whatever is taking up most of your day that you have to do, you don't even have a choice. You're serving it like a slave. That's your God. I want to challenge you guys to beat this. Most people listening to this aren't having to go out and hunt in the wilderness and pick berries. You kind of have your food system solved because you can just go to a store.
Yep.
How can we solve your housing? Same thing. You don't have to build a tent and find shelter and build all these things to try to not get eaten by the animals in the wilderness. You got your housing solved. You've got your food solved. How can we solve your money equation? The thing I've been learning too, because I'd forgotten really just some of the basic principles of wealth, is I got caught up in my business, because your business can become your God. Mm-hmm. Not that you want it to be that, but
it can.
When it sucks that much of your time and energy, you can't think of anything else.
Yes. Using that definition you said earlier, it can easily happen.
Yeah. Especially if there's fires and this and all the stuff. I built wealth to a certain point to where I never had to work again by 24, which was amazing. Mm-hmm. But then my dreams grew. So how can you build wealth that scales with your dreams? Yes.
That is a question I think we should all ask on a daily basis.
It's a big one.
That's a scary question.
I'm excited that we actually get to go through that in the summits that we're going to be doing this year and next year.
Yes.
So it's so super fun on actually how to do that part. But that was what I didn't know.
Mm-hmm. When you say you didn't know it, how did you? Was there a moment when you're like, oh, I know this now?
Well, my cash flow overwhelmed my monthly costs.
Yeah.
So I was quote unquote financially free.
Yep.
But then when your monthly costs grow because your dreams grow or your giving grows or whatever grows, then you're back in the quote unquote rat race. Mm-hmm. Whenever you have to work for money, you're in the rat race. Mm-hmm. Because you're just going around in this wheel, around the wheel, around the wheel every day. You have to get up, you have to. So how can you get to this place of freedom? How can you deserve it too? I'm going to talk to my young people out here who want this tomorrow. You got to be willing to put in the time and the energy. Mm-hmm. Nobody owes you crap. Mm-hmm. No one. And nobody's going to take care of you forever. And if they do, you're going to be a sucky human being. So how can you own your life, own your time, own your education to be able to build this life? But if you're not willing to put in the time, you're never going to have it.
Yeah.
And I don't feel sorry for you at all.
Yeah.
Zero. Nothing.
Right.
So figure it out if you want it. Don't just feel like you wake up and deserve it.
Yeah.
You deserve to be loved and to have an incredible life if you so choose to put in the work.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, tangents of this.
That's what.
Get me fired up.
Literally, while I'm here for your tangents. Those are a gift. And what you're talking about, that ability to just not recognize that freedom of time is what so many of us should be after. And
that's actually wealth.
That's wealth.
That's wealth.
That is wealth. And I have a saying that rich people have money, wealthy people have time, right? Because we talked about just in the last episode being rich. Well, once you understand that rich is amazing, rich is incredible, rich is a beautiful, generous, loving place and mindset, and heart-centered, integrity-filled people are rich. You just don't hear about them because they like to be anonymous. Mm-hmm. They don't like to tell everyone what they've done. They don't like to put it all over Instagram or whatever other social media outlets. More people are wealthy and rich and they give. We just don't know who they are, but the people who are broke are the loudest complainers, the ones that talk the most. So we always hear those. We always see those. And so then we also have the people that are rich that are displayed in movies as a negative character or someone who's demonized. That's when we have to, again, turn our focus, turn our perception, because we have to realize that that was created by someone and we get to pick, we get to choose what that looks like and how it means to us.
I do want to clarify, when we say wealth is freedom of time, that doesn't mean max out your credit cards, don't pay your bills, live in a tent on the beach and go surfing all day. That's very selfish, especially that's just not you giving your gift to the world. You're called to do more and make a way for other people who are less fortunate.
Let's go to that example on the beach. They want to surf all day. How could they give a gift to the world?
If you can't pay your bills, you're barely getting by, and you're bumming off of everybody else to like feed yourself, you're kind of a menace to society, you know? And nobody wants to be a menace. I'm sure you can be kind because kindness is free. I'm sure there's all kind of like little things you can do, but bumming does not mean you've made it because like, someone gave it to me. Just stop sucking on everybody else. Like, be a way maker, not a taker.
Yeah.
And you're going to attract so many incredible human beings and you're going to be happy and fulfilled. I'm not just saying like, you have to be rich. I kind of am. But I'm saying you want to live a happy and fulfilled life, which we are born wanting that.
Agreed. So if someone, let's say that person on the beach, they make the smallest tweaks where they go, instead of, let me just do nothing all day, right? Their shift is, let me take my passion and love for surfing and amplify it so that I can teach children who are special needs, or teach senior citizens who've never surfed at all. Like, how can I pour into them? Because it's just that minor tweak. It's the tiniest of alterations and adjustments.
Intentionality.
Exactly. Yeah. It's so tiny. The intentional desires and beliefs that can be made throughout your life to go from broke to woke, or to go from wherever you're at to wherever you want to be, are minuscule. Itty bitty.
They are. I think I took a second to clarify that because I'm really worried about our generation and younger. I'm not worried in that I know that they're passionate, caring, deep people who want to see good things for the planet and want to like do some pretty cool things. I'm worried about their approach. I'm worried that they'll try to do shortcuts because they understand what's possible. I don't know if a lot of them are willing to put in the work. And I think that's why we're taking the time to share this with you guys. We've seen the Instagram highlight reels. We've seen what people say their lives are automatically by just being these traveling blah, blah, blah. And we just want you to think long term in a non like, I don't know, it's not like a controlling parent. It's investing in yourself.
Directly.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is. Like that's the shift. It's that investment intentionally, right? It could be a book. It could be a coach. It can be a mentor. It could be a podcast. And having the time. So, for example, let's say that you sit down at a podcast or you're reading a book and you have some type of belief change or mindset shift or something flips in your brain. Do you take time to write it down? Mm-hmm. Do you take time to go, okay, let me set a reminder in my phone for tomorrow to think about what I'm thinking about now,
Yeah.
right? Just that tiny adjustment
Yeah.
will amplify who you are. Those are the tweaks that people have to do.
Mm-hmm.
And they're not hard.
Mm-hmm. It's so funny you were talking about investing in yourself.
Yeah.
Whenever you put money into something,
Mm-hmm.
is that considered investing?
Yes.
Yeah. So when we say spend your time,
Mm-hmm.
if you think of your time as currency,
Mm-hmm.
you're investing in things.
Mm-hmm.
So how much have we invested into looking at other people's lives on Instagram? How much have we invested in whining about somebody else or talking crap?
Yeah.
Whatever you invest in is going to
Pay out.
and expand. Yeah.
Invest and expand and pay out. You're gonna receive those returns.
Right. So what's the return on investing in watching somebody else's feed on Instagram?
Mm-hmm.
You know, and again, that's not evil. I still do it, but it's how many hours. And
Correct.
if you swapped time,
Mm-hmm.
that's what I learned doing this bodybuilding competition. I learned, how can I run? I only had 5 companies at the time. Go through all these different things in my life. Like I had a lot of just junk hitting the fan at the same time. How can I still compete at a high level athlete level and do well? How can I do it? And it was these micro shifts. Instead of having a meeting in a boardroom, just sitting on my butt, staring at somebody across the table, we met on a treadmill.
Yep.
So we swapped the time doing the same activity.
That's so cool.
And instead of cooking all my meals, I'm going to cook them all at once and meal prep for the week and then take them with me. So I swapped where the food was coming from versus fast food or whatever's around me.
Yeah.
So with that goal, you back into what do I have to do to accomplish that? And then you look at your time, you say, how can I swap activity for activity? So if you want to become a great author, you're not going to learn that just scrolling through something, but you will learn it listening to X YouTube videos, taking somebody's training. So it's all the little intentionalities that make Bill Gates and the beggar have the same 24 hours.
That should be a movie. Bill Gates and the beggar. But it's a wonderful approach, and it's a very, very poignant point. In fact, the very next episode, I would love to talk about wokeness, because we went poor, rich, broke, and now we're going from broke to woke. We'll see you guys there.
If you keep hearing us talking about these impact trips where we're going and changing lives, delivering disaster response, we're helping to end human trafficking, we're building out these financial education programs to help people locally and globally be able to build themselves up, pull themselves up with dignity, and stand on their own 2 feet and be able to provide for themselves and their family. If you want to get involved in our Give Back initiatives, go to broketowoke.com and pick which one aligns best with you.